Residents of coastal towns and cities across the southeastern U.S. are breathing a sigh of relief as Hurricane Nate is rapidly weakening after twice making landfall in the southeastern U.S. late Saturday into early Sunday. The NHC has downgraded it to a tropical depression as it moves inland over Alabama. NHC has also discontinued all storm-related warnings for coastal areas, though heavy rains and flooding continue in some areas. The storm's maximum sustained winds have dropped to 40 miles per hour, and as of late morning Sunday, the storm was traveling near Birmingham, Alabama. Many of the hurricane watches and warnings issued before the storm made landfall have been discontinued. Meteorologist Jim Cantor shared this video of the storm taken in Orange Beach, Alabama shortly before Nate made its first landfall. Viewers can clearly see a water spout forming offshore. Here it is picked out. Twitter.com /6y Jim Cantor at Jim Cantor. October 7, 2017. Nate battered coastal cities with storm surges as high as 5 feet, flooding parts of downtown Biloxi, Mississippi. The highest storm surge by this point was 4.7 feet at Shell Beach, about 15 miles east-southeast of New Orleans, according to readings from tide gauges in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. Videos circulating online showed floodwaters rising in the lobby of the Golden Nugget Casino in Biloxi. Storm surge coming into parking lot of casino in Biloxi. Hurricane Nate picked out. Twitter.com Joey7 Mike Tice at Mike Tice. October 8, 2017. Storm surge coming into lobby of Golden Nugget Casino in Biloxi. Hurricane Nate picked out. Twitter.com Yet1MZ Mike Tice at Mike Tice. October 8, 2017. Storm surge coming inside entrance of Golden Nugget Casino in Biloxi. Hurricane Nate picked out. Twitter.com Wowdwoo Mike Tice at Mike Tice. October 8, 2017. Flooding was also documented in Mobile, Alabama. Road blocked by dock pushed in from storm surge. Hurricane Nate at city_of Mobile Nate flooding picked out. Twitter.com of Think Luck Michael Schubert at Chupacabra. October 8, 2017. This was a little hairy. Hurricane Nate at city_of Mobile need a boat storm surge picked out. Twitter.com Ukdi Michael Schubert at Chupacabra. October 8, 2017. Though the storm was much more mild than many had feared, it still left tens of thousands of utility customers without power. Alabama Power reported Sunday morning that about 59,000 customers were without power, 56,000 of which were in Mobile. In Mississippi, 50,000 customers were without power, according to a spokesman for the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency. More than 10,000 customers were affected by outages in the Florida Panhandle, according to Gulf Power. Officials in New Orleans were particularly relieved after ordering mandatory evacuations and imposing an early curfew to remain in effect until storm conditions subside. Nate moved sharply east after making landfall, sparing New Orleans from a direct hit. Nate moved east of New Orleans, sparing the city the worst of the storm. New Orleans had spent most of Saturday under a hurricane warning that was lifted around 7 p.m. It was downgraded to a tropical storm warning in New Orleans. Mayor Mitch Landrieu lifted a citywide curfew. "I think we dodged a bullet," said Louisiana LT. Gov. Billy Nungesser. "I think we got the dry side of the storm." Nungesser said he had been at Plaquemines Parish, which is at the southeast tip of the state. "We saw no flooding or levees overtopping," he said. Natural gas production in the Gulf of Mexico plunged to its lowest level in 3 years ahead of the storm as refiners and energy producers evacuated employees from offshore rigs. Here's a roundup of the closures and evacuations, courtesy of Bloomberg. Operators have shut in 1.62 meters BD, or 92%, of U.S. Gulf oil production in preparation for Nate. BSEE says in notice 2.48 BCFD, or 77%, of natural gas production offline. Natural gas production from Gulf of Mexico plunged to lowest in data going back 3 years. Colonial Pipeline says no impact on operations from Nate. Exxon shut its Julia and Hadrian South fields in Gulf of Mexico. Shell shutting production at Mars, Ursa, Olympus and Ram Powell hubs in eastern Gulf of Mexico. ConocoPhillips plans to evacuate its Magnolia crude and natural gas platform of non-essential staff. Murphy Oil removing staff, curtailing output at Gulf of Mexico platforms and fields that are in path of storm. BP removing staff from its Atlantis and Mad Dog crude and gas platforms in the Gulf of Mexico in advance of Nate, says person familiar with matter. Anadarko planned to remove all staff and shut its Marlin crude and gas production platform Friday. Enbridge said all personnel from Ship Shoal 332A and Ship Shoal 207 natural gas platforms in Gulf of Mexico will be evacuated. BHP to fully evacuate its Neptune and Shenzi crude and gas platforms in Gulf of Mexico by Friday morning. Chevron shutting Fortune, Empire Oil terminals informed shippers deliveries receipts suspended for duration of storm. Transco gas line has seen losses from offshore producers of approximately 280 mmcfd as of Saturday afternoon. Williams spokesman Keith Isbell. Ports in Mobile, Alabama and New Orleans areas remained shuttered. Ports near New Orleans and Mobile were closed ahead of the storm and remain out of service. Coast Guard shuts ports in Mobile, Alabama, New Orleans, Louisiana areas. Magellan limits ops at Barrero, Louisiana, oil terminal before Nate Port Fortune, La, to begin mandatory evacuations at noon local time Saturday. New Star shuts St. James, La, terminal dock truck rack. Some refiners were also shut. Chevron Pascagoula refinery in Miss is shutting ahead of Nate, according to a person familiar with operations. Chevron's 330 kbd Pascagoula refinery shut October 6. Genscape Phillips 66 as Alliance, La, refinery has shut for Hurricane Nate. Shell Norco is said to cut rates. Others continue normal ops in one of the more dramatic clips to emerge from coverage of the disaster. One reporter broadcasting by the edge of the water in Biloxi was nearly hit with a flying chair. At McGuess you barely missed that flying chair from hitting you. At Weather Channel pic.twitter.com or Pug8GZFDR. Tyler Barker at Wix. Tyler, October 8, 2017. Luckily, nobody was hurt.